So long. My kids to come back to work.
I call to order this meeting of the National School District Governing Board. Luciana, join me in the pledge of allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can you please have a roll call?
Ms. Allen?
Present.
Ms. Isabella?
Present.
Ms. Gates?
Present.
Ms. Sarmiento?
Present.
Ms. Beckler Senora is absent.
Thank you. In closed session, the board voted unanimously to appoint Dr. Fausto Barragan as the new principal of Ira Harbison School. Mr. Barragan, can you please? I have a pen for you. Congratulations and welcome to our family. Stay right there. And also in closed session, the board voted unanimously to appoint Erica Barcelo Carrillo as the new principal of Central Elementary. Congratulations.
Much for that.
And if the two of you would like to step over to the microphone and say a few words.
Thank you, board. Thank you, family and friends that are present today. My name is Erica Barcelo Carrillo, and it is my absolute pleasure and honor to serve National School District. I vow to every day come and give of my time, my heart, my passion, and my energy to serve to the best of my absolute ability, every student, every child in National School District. I vow to serve our community with integrity and to always respect and honor the position that you've entrusted me in. Thank you very much for your faith, and I won't let you down. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve in this wonderful community. From the beginning of the interview process, I just felt such a positive culture. And so that made me excited about moving forward in the interview process. I am so excited to come back to San Diego County after being away from San Diego County for a few years in San Bernardino, serving as a principal. My goal is to empower students, empower parents, empower my staff, to build team, and to give them the strategies, to give them support so they can help students to engineer their way to success. Agradecido con todos por esta oportunidad. Estoy muy entusiasmado de las oportunidades que tenemos como una comunidad escolar. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to support our families, our students, and we're here to make good things happen. Thank you for the opportunity.
We have a happy staff there. At this time, I'd like to pause and for a moment of silence. If you'd all join me in giving our support to the town of Uvalde. Thank you. Do we have any presentations? We move on to public communications. Public communication provides the public with an opportunity to address the board regarding an item on the agenda or any topic. Anyone wishing to address the board shall submit a request for oral communication card. Cards are available near the entrance to the boardroom and are to be submitted to the recording secretary. A member of the public who wishes to address the board on any such matters is limited to 3 minutes for one matter up to a maximum of 5 minutes for all matters. There shall be a limit of 20 minutes for any matter unless such time limit is waived by a majority vote of the board. Members of the public may not yield any time to the speakers. No board action can be taken. Agenda, do I have a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Oh, second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Thank you. Right. Ms. Gates made the motion. Can you hurry up and clear it and fix it? Sorry. Motion by Ms. Gates, second by Ms. Della. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Adjustment.
Okay, 8. Approved consent agenda / routine items of business. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and will be acted upon in one action by the board. It is understood that the superintendent has recommended approval for these items. There will be no discussion prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or public request specific items to be discussed and or removed from the consent agenda. All items approved by the board will be deemed as considered in full and adopted as recommended. So, none to here. So, item A, minutes, approve the minutes of the special board meeting held on May 4th. Oh, we're doing the 12th, I'm sorry. So she's, forgive me. Amy Wirt, I have a card for you to come up and speak.
The Ira Harvesting Hawk family is here because we read that our legend and Queen Bev is retiring, and so we wanted to be the first to say congratulations, and we love you, and we wish you the best, and we are excited for your next adventure.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I can't.
By the way, you're welcome to come back at our meeting on June 8th. After we address this properly. Bev, people sure love you. What's up with that?
Travis wanted me to give you an extra hug. I
Oh,
wanted me to fly down to see you. I'm holding. We've been together a long time.
Moving on, item 9, general functions, approve the minutes of the regular board
We
meeting.
did approve the consent agenda. We'll move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. You have a motion by Ms. Gala to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
I second the motion.
Second by Ms. Lewis Zeraldo. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Now, item 9, general functions, approve the minutes of the regular board meeting held on May 11th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
I will move to approve the minutes.
Motion by Ms. Della. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Ms. Gates.
Madam President,
Yes.
I was not present, I was absent to abstain. So thank you.
Thank you. Are you abstaining? Yes. Please vote.
Item passes 3 yes, 1 abstain.
Thank you. Okay. So also 9B, adopt resolution 21-22.35 regarding absence of board member Ms. Rosina Lizarraga due to illness. Ms. Rock was absent for the regular board meeting held May 11th due to illness. Yes.
I will move to adopt resolution 21-22.35.
I will second that.
Motion by Ms. Dallas, second by Ms. Gates. Please vote.
Item passes 3 yes, 1 abstain.
Thank you. Under Educational Services, presentation on the collaboration between National School District and Olivewood Gardens and the Learning Center and its partners. It will include highlights of the program currently being provided at the National School District Gardens. Dr. Kraft, are you ready?
Thank you, Trustee Sarmiento. I would like to take this opportunity to invite Dr. O'Connor, Ms. Nation, Ms. McLeod, Helika, and Kelsey, I'm sorry, up to the podium to share the partnership and the work, the exciting work that's happening at our school sites between our school gardens and Olivewood Gardens and Learning Center.
Good evening. Good evening, Madam President, board members, Dr. Brady, cabinet, and guests. I'm Dr. O'Connor. I work in National School District. Since we have some new employees, you know who I am. I'm director here in Educational Services, and it is my pleasure to introduce this amazing team lined up behind me. They're amazing community partners, as you all know, and I've had the pleasure over the last few years to work with them in multiple capacities. But this year has really been the best, just since January, right? Things have really taken off. So in a moment, they're going to be sharing some highlights of some of the expanded learning opportunities that we have been able to provide for our students and staff since you all approved the MOU between Olivewood Gardens and Learning Center last fall. So our team here is, and I had them tell me their job titles, Jen Nation, Executive Director, Olivewood Gardens and Learning Center, and Helika Gastelum, Schools Coordinator, Olivewood Gardens and Learning Center, Mim Michaelov, CEO, Healthy Day Partners, and Kelsey Pennington, School Garden Educator.
All right. Well, hello, everybody. As Wendy mentioned, my name is Jen Nation, and I'm the Executive Director at Olivewood Gardens and Learning Center. I just want to say thank you for giving us an opportunity to present tonight. We're so grateful for this expanded partnership and are excited to share some of our successes of our first official year in the schools. As you can see, our goals, collaboration is really important. It's the most critical piece of this whole puzzle. And the fact that we're able to work with the school district, with other partners like Healthy Day, and with our Olivewood Gardens team really helps us drive this educational piece home in this outdoor school garden. So you see, we want to provide garden support, hands-on environmental education, and extended learning opportunities for all elementary students. And we've definitely done that here in the last few months. For those of you who don't know, Olivewood Gardens is right around 12 years old, and National School District was our first partnership when we were founded. We're right down the street, like 2 blocks down the street. We have an 8-acre property and have been doing nutrition and environmental science education with National School District since our beginnings. And we started small and have really expanded our offerings. This year, is the first year that all fourth grade students in all 10 schools have visited Olivewood. And they come 3 times, and it's all progression-based learning around nutrition and environmental science. We have some fun photos here. I'm gonna let Wendy talk about the GoldCat goals. Did you know that?
So this amazing partnership that we have is funded through our LCAP, our Local Control Accountability Plan, specifically Goal 7, Action 2. So Goal 7, I'll actually just read it for you because it's so well written, Dr. Kraft. Promote student engagement and achievement through a broad course of study. And Action 2, it really focuses on our district vision of allowing all of our students to become global citizens. And this particular action step, it allows our students to become global citizens by engaging environmental stewardship through the hands-on garden program that they're providing through Olivewood Gardens. The lessons, as Jen mentioned, are focused on the next-gen science standards and precisely environmental science and nutrition standards. And we do want to highlight that this is a partnership with our entire district, ed services, maintenance and operation, all of the folks out at the school who help coordinate and facilitate the lessons, and then the partnership that's built within the MOU with Healthy Days. So you'll hear a little bit more from Moon in a little bit.
All right, so we thought it'd be fun for you to meet our staff. We have 2 educators that are in the schools. In fact, since January, they've served every single student 3 times. So they've been in the schools doing 5 classes most days, Monday through Friday, working hand in hand with teachers and principals and running these really fabulous programs. So we have Kelsey, who's here today, and Sabrina as well as our educators. And then thanks to funding by Healthy Day Partners, Alyssa is our school maintenance coordinator. So she's in the school making sure the gardens have what they need, probably talking to David every day. But it's a really, really strong partnership with both our staff and with the NSD staff as well. And as you can see here from this video, the students, this is what happens every time these educators walk into the classrooms here. Let's see if I can figure this out. So the educators walk down the hallways, the students are so excited to see them. They're always telling them what they're eating at home, what they're doing, what they've been doing since the last time they saw them. That teacher, you can tell, was a little jealous with all the love our educators were getting. But as I mentioned, we're not only providing the education, but we're also providing the maintenance and again, in partnership with David and his team as well, and the operations team here. But the students, when they come to the garden, they are not just, it's this outdoor classroom. It gives them opportunities to expand their learning, to expand their knowledge. Kids are so creative, they're hands-on. They have a lot of questions. They're very curious, as I'm sure many of you teachers who maybe are here tonight have seen the students in action. But all of our programming is tied to next generation science standards. And we start in TK all the way through 6th grade. So the program is progressive. They're learning, this is the first year of this in-school program, but the students will be building year after year on what they've learned the previous year. So this year they've done a lot of exploration in the garden. They recently just tasted the rainbow. So they did lots of fun tastings and learned about why it's important to eat healthy, and then that growing that food and how we do that. So let's see. Oh, I thought the fun video was next. All right. The other thing I mentioned is all the 4th graders from National School District also get to come to Olivewood 4 times. And I mentioned that a little bit earlier. And those 4th graders are really able to make that connection, not only between what they're learning at Olivewood, but now they're going back into their school gardens. Our hopes are next year when they're 5th graders, they'll be running the show in the school gardens because they've been to Olivewood and they've already been through a lesson. So that progression is just building on itself. The students also in 4th grade, they've made decisions. They help plant the snap peas, and later you'll see that the snap peas actually went into salad bars in the National School District this year. They also got to taste the blueberries that were planted at Olivewood. And I do want to say, right before the pandemic, we sent a survey to all the students in National School District and asked what they would like to see on their salad bar. And as you can imagine, when you ask 4,500 students, you get a lot of different answers. But berries really came to the top. And so right as the pandemic started, we planted blueberry plants at Olivewood, 300 blueberry plants. And it takes about 2 years for them to fruit. So this year we started getting fruit from the blueberries. So these blueberries that students were asking for, now every single student has had an opportunity to taste these blueberries, and our fourth graders were instrumental in that as well. This is a lot of reading. I'm not going to read to you, but we get a lot of really fabulous quotes from both students, parents, teachers that really highlight the importance of the program. It's fun, it's fun and it's cool, and it's also educational. And students are seeing these connections right back from what they're learning in the classroom to what they're doing at home, what they're doing in the garden. So this, recently we had, this is not a quote, but recently we had our open house at Olivewood Gardens, and we had 3 fourth graders show up who had just been to the program at Olivewood. They've been in the school gardens, they've been at Olivewood, and they literally were leading the tour. These fourth graders were telling everybody all the things that were planted where and what they did for you and how they were healthy for the environment, what the bugs were, what the pollinators were, what the plant parts were. So they just took over, which was great because then I just got to sit back. But it's really interesting. They make those connections, and the more that they see the educators in the garden and are learning, those connections are also going back to what they're doing in the classroom the rest of the year. So it's not just that garden education. There's lots of quotes here. I'll just leave them here for a second so you can take a look. But we do the jam boards, which is something that many of the teachers started doing for us. And so we've asked them to kind of fill those out and give us feedback on what they liked and what was exciting and what they learned. So you can see some of the things that they're learning about nutrition, vegetables. These are from 6th graders, so you can see they're learning a little bit more of the progression of what they're learning and how they're tying that back into science as well. And then these students were recently at Olivewood, and one of their students' first dream job is to work at Olivewood, but the kids are being able to taste food. They're taking that back home and they're telling their families about what they're eating, what they're tasting, what they're growing. So that's not just affecting the students, it's affecting their entire families as well. All right, and this is my favorite video.
Are we ready for the final option? This one is a favorite amongst all the classes. It is the best of the best. The grand finale, I have blueberry.
So as I mentioned, the students are tasting the blueberries and they are so excited about it. I'm not sure what gets them so excited about blueberries, but they love them. If anybody's hip, they call them bussin' blueberries. I learned that that's a phrase and it means real good. But when our educators are out there, they're tasting this food that maybe they don't always have an opportunity to eat. This year they tasted snap peas, cherry tomatoes, and the hit was the blueberries. We weren't going to do the cherry tomato video. It wasn't as exciting, but and then as we plan ahead for the future, in pre-pandemic, we had grown romaine lettuce and that went on the school salad bars. This year we were able to grow sugar snap peas that went on the school salad bars. Again, many of the students helped plant those. When students come through the garden, they know that they're there. They also planted them in the school, so students were seeing them, they were learning about them, then they were able to taste them. So as we progress in this relationship, hopefully we'll be able to have a few more items that are grown at Olivewood in the school gardens and on salad bars for you. All right, and now the highlight of the entire program is our partnership with Healthy Day Partners. So I'm gonna have Mim come up and share a little bit about what Healthy Day Partners is doing for students in 6th grade.
Hi, so I'm Mim Michaelov. I'm with Healthy Day Partners. We are kind of in the background of this program, supporting NSD and supporting the students and supporting Olivewood Gardens. We're doing an amazing job. I got very emotional watching that blueberry video. I mean, that's raw enthusiasm, and that's what we're looking for. So to kind of make it full circle, or really coming in from all angles, Olivewood has the on-site lessons for the kids, and then now the school gardens for the kids, and then we actually kind of bring that to their homes. So we distributed over 700 Grab and Grow Gardens grow bags that they could take home. So I don't know how to advance the I guess I did know, sorry. And so the one in the middle is really what it's going to be looking like pretty soon. Within a month, they'll be fruiting, and they'll have tomatoes at home and peppers. We supplied a variety of tomatoes, cherries, so that they would come up really quickly. But they're going to have orange ones, yellow ones, red ones, even dark purple beautiful ones, and they have no idea which ones they're gonna be growing yet, so that'll be exciting. And then for peppers, they got jalapeno peppers and a lunchbox pepper, which is many different colors, mini bell peppers that you see sometimes in the grocery store now. Wanted you to see what 1 pallet of soil looks like. So we needed to do this 9 times. So what we should have done is had an 18-wheeler, but luckily our van enough was, good enough, big enough to do this 9 times, but we still had to rent a pretty big truck, and then we were so over capacity, we had to make several trips. So I had, it was a learning curve. But we're really happy to provide these for the 6th graders. And again, the raw enthusiasm for them was amazing. I have to go back here. So when I was dropping off at Olivewood Elementary School, a parent came running up because we had provided these the year before, and she had a 6th grader the year before, and she just was like so excited that they had something to do together, that these went home last year. So she just came up to me while I was trying to haul some soil and said that she was just so glad that they had this fun hands-on activity to do as a whole family. And that's really what we're after, looking at this raw enthusiasm of the students and realizing this experiential education is really obviously helping with learning, but it's also these life skills that we want these kids to be taking home, and they will last forever. And when they work in the garden, they are learning to have healthier habits for themselves and for the planet, but they are reducing obesity, reducing chronic disease, reducing food insecurity, which is one of the main focuses for us, and improving the health of the entire community, as well as strengthening intergenerational bonds. And we just love supporting this program, and we're so glad that the district is like on board and fully growing their garden programs for every student and National School District. And we love working with Olivewood Gardens. I think that might be it for me.
All right, one more video. So just a quick thank you as we wrap up. We'll take some questions, but Mim is exactly right. Everything that we're doing is this wraparound approach that really goes into every aspect of youth's lives. And we're seeing, we know there's been a lot of mental and emotional and physical, challenges with kids coming back to school, and being able to get them outside in the gardens where they can be active and engaged. And not only are they learning about the gardening, but they're also really improving their interpersonal skills as well. We see a lot of students checking in with each other and chatting, and which maybe they're not supposed to be doing in school. But we definitely see a lot more engagement and question asking and just being really thoughtful about how they're going about their day with the school garden support. So I'd love to answer any questions, or if the whole team is here, they can actually answer. Kelsey probably knows the most. She's like in there every day, but any questions?
Well, I have a question. Were those grow bags that you send home with the children, so do the parents know how to support the children in helping this plant develop?
I probably should have explained what the program is, right? So each student gets the bag of soil that fits perfectly in a 7-gallon, I decided to up it to a 7-gallon grow bag, but there are instructions, the growing instructions that include harvesting instructions. So, and then I have a video, QR code to a video. So proper planting, which is very tricky with a tomato. And so they get them in English, Spanish, and Tagalog. And it was great because the students in the 6th grade roundtable advocated to have the Tagalog translation in there as well. So hopefully the parents are reading those instructions and helping the kids along the way. But we are also going to tomorrow provide some educational, as these plants are growing, they'll also have some home tasks that they can do that are educational, and a recipe for the food that they grow.
Well, first question is, if you figured out a way to get rid of those nasty green tomato caterpillars, share it with all of us who like to grow tomatoes.
So I do have a trick for that, if you really want to know it.
Because
Besides going out with a flashlight late at night, at the purple, do you know the, what are they called, a dark light? No. Purple, well, black light, yeah. If you get a flashlight like that, you can see them at night in the dark. So, but here's a much easier one. You plant a little sweet alyssum. Do you know that plant? It's very inexpensive and easy to grow. And then it attracts it attracts a parasitic, is that right? Am I saying a funny word? Wasp that is going to insert itself into the worm, and it also attracts a hoverfly, and the hoverfly will actually eat the worm when it's young larvae. So that's a really good trick. Any more gardening ones?
I mean, there's something beautiful about a tomato plucked right off the vine. I mean, there's just everything they tell us in the store, I'm really thankful for. Because we have those resources, lots of places don't, but there's nothing like a tomato off the vine. I remember coming for one of your very first open houses at Olivewood Gardens, and you had these monster butternut looking squash that I thought, what in the world is in their soil? And then I found out, oh my goodness, the kids are going to be able to go. I appreciate the fact that you use the words environmental stewardship, because old school stewards knew everything that was out of place, knew where to find it, knew where to have it, knew how much was there. If you're a wine steward, you're supposed to know everything tip to tail about whatever's in your wine cellar. If you're a person of faith, stewardship's the same language we talk about. And so to develop that intentionally in our kids about, it's not just what you have and what you can get, it's how do you care for it so that tomorrow you still have. So I'm thankful for your intentionality with our students. And how cool, 4th grade gets to go, and then 5th grade gets to teach, and 6th grade gets to take it home. I mean, that's just fantastic. Thank you for what you're doing for all of our students and for our families.
Can I just add that, I know Jen talked about it, but the more we know about what's happening in the cafeteria, the more we can get that, because we supply all the plants for the program as well. And so if we know ahead of time what's going to be served, we can get that into the garden so the kids have a really honest connection with their food and know where it comes from before it's even served on the salad bars.
I just like to add that I've said it before, sorry if you've heard it before, but my grandson, when he was 4 years old in preschool, he brought home some carrot seeds in a wet cotton ball in a little baggie and took them home, and Mom planted them for him. And one day his dad went to the store and bought the full-grown carrots, stuck it in the ground. There's the plant sticking out. And he goes, hey, have you checked your plants yet? And so he went out there to check. He goes, whoop, Daddy, whoop. And he goes, well, what is it? And he's going, Mama, Mama, come. And he's so excited. And Mama comes running out, and he said, whoop, whoop. And she goes, well, did you harvest it? Are you going to harvest it? And he goes to pull it out, and he's pulling, and the look at his face. And you know what? He's 6 years old now. He wants to be a farmer when he grows up, farmer/engineer. And he gave me a hydrangea plant for Mother's Day. And I said, Mason, I hate to tell you this, but my plant's starting to die. I don't know what to do with it. And he goes, well, replant it. Okay, well, how do I do that? Well, you put it in some other soil. And he's explaining the process. And he goes, and you're supposed to water them. I go, oh, yeah, I forget. And he goes, duh, hydrangea, water, duh. Thank you very much. But it's a learning experience, and this guy's going to be a great farmer when he's an adult. Thank you.
We're hiring. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Item 10B to approve renewal of CT 3642 with the San Diego County Office of Education for Librarian of Record Services. Do I have a motion?
I will move to approve contract CT 3642.
I will second with a question.
I have a motion by Mrs. Dallas, second by Ms. Gates, and discussion.
this is new for me, because I know that we have our librarians at our school sites, but this is somebody outside who does, I'd like to understand what this role is and how it does work with us.
So it's governed by Ed Code. We do need to have a certificated librarian of record. The individuals that support and maintain, do everything in our school sites are library media specialists, and it's not a credentialed position.
Okay, so basically this is a supervisory input kind of role.
It's a credentialed position. Doesn't it oversees the programming.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none, please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Item 10C, approve CT 3730 with Curriculum Associates with iReady Common Core. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the subscription.
Is there a second?
I second it.
There's a motion by Ms. Gates, second by Ms. Lizarraga. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 10D, to approve CT 3940 with AB CPR and First Aid Training, Inc. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make that motion to approve CT 3940.
I second the motion.
Motion by Ms. Gates, second by Ms. Lizarraga. If no discussion, please vote. Sorry to slaughter your name.
Item passes unanimously.
Okay, item E, to approve CT 3948 with YMCA of San Diego County and the National School District for summer program services. What's the pleasure of the board?
I will move to approve contract 3948.
Do I have a second?
A second with a question?
Okay, motion by Mrs. Dallas, second by Ms. Gates with discussion.
7 school sites. So we have more than that, so I'm just wondering why 7 and what goes into why some and not others.
So as you know, we have a fairly short summer. And so we need to work collaboratively with our maintenance team, because that's their opportunity to take care of some of the facility needs of our schools. So in the planning process, I always bring in Mr. Castillo to determine the school sites and determine the projects that are going to be at the school sites to see, how viable they would be to have students on. If it's a significant project like last year, we actually had to have dark days with the programming because the students couldn't be on campus. And so this year we selected 7 sites after meeting with Mr. Castillo. In addition, it was a bit of a staffing issue to spread across so many sites. And with the funding source, the Expanded Learning Opportunities Program, there are additional criteria in terms of timing and extension of the programming. With the funding, it has to run to be a 9-hour program. And so in order to maintain the staff and continuity for the students, it worked out better to have it at 7 sites. I did ask when we were planning that we look at the walkability component for proximity for families in their, depending on when they apply, where they would go. Sometimes it's next to their home, and sometimes it's where they might be doing childcare, for the summer.
Ms. Loretta?
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Thank you for the question. I addressed to her the Madam President, but she's playing clerk right now. Madam Clerk, thank you. My question is that the ratio of the students per coach, that's what I call it, right? And is this 20 to 1 staff ratio to first to 6th grades and 10 to 1 for TK and kindergarten? So my question is what for credentialing or training that I have it just for low to moderate disabled students that might have this benefit. So I don't know if that they have, because I couldn't find it. Maybe it's there, but I just didn't see it. So what is gonna be the supervision for, just in case they use this benefit?
for summer, because they offer it, and also you can include that in your comments or in your explanation about the success on the past of this program and how we're gonna make it more attractive for kids.
Okay, so I'll answer the first question. Part of the benefit of this program and the funding is that we get to maintain our REACH staff. And they are both grant-funded programs, and so the ratios, the criteria, the parameters, as I shared, are driven by the funding source. The benefit of this is in the past when we didn't have funding, we didn't have the capability of running the summer program, as many of the individuals would be released because there was no work. And so we would have a low return. We would spend a lot of time training our REACH staff because they're the same staff that works during the school year. So they know our kids are all students meeting the criteria, have access to REACH, including students with disabilities. And so during the year, throughout every year, we do provide training for that. So we're able to maintain that staff over the summer, and they're serving the same kids. The kids know them, they know each other. And so what we noticed last year is we had almost a minimal loss of staffing because we were able to maintain work for these college students. A lot of them are college students and working part-time. So that is the first question. And then the second question with respect to the success is it was very well received last year. We did conduct a survey. Kids having fun, was learning, but again, like Olive Gardens,
Where's the summer?
yeah. And it was fun. We did get feedback, and this year we have the opportunity with the new funds to expand it. So we're going to be providing vendors to be coming in to do exciting different themes and exciting opportunities like coding and Legos. And so the REACH team and I have been working and planning, as well as the DRT, called a TACTO, in making plans around what we can offer the students. And so there'll be a rotation. The benefit is now that we've made these partnerships for the summer vendors, we're also going to use them during our school year to enhance our after-school REACH program.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments? No? You have a motion? Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 11A, under Human Resources, to approve declaration of need for fully qualified educators.
I'll make a motion to approve that declaration.
I will second that.
Motion to approve by Ms. Gates, second by Ms. Dalla. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 12, under Business Services, A, adopt a resolution 21-22.30 designating an authorized signer for Bank of America. Motion to adopt.
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
I second the motion.
Thank you. Motion by Ms. Gates, second by Ms. Lizarraga. Please vote.
No, I have discussion.
Oh, I'm sorry, with discussion, Ms. Dalla.
Mr. Menezes, would you please would you speak more on the summary and maybe expand a little bit on the explanation of this item?
So we have a bank account with Bank of America that has existed for a few years. It was created by the previous CBO. The previous CBO is the only signatory on the account. So I'm unable to take any action on the bank account. And the Bank of America requires that we pass a board resolution to take action on it. We created the account years ago to deposit food service sales. So any time we sell a meal for any kind of monetary consideration, we deposit the cash in there. As of right now, there's about $94,000 in the account. We're unable to access it, and we need the resolution to actually take any action. It is the intent of the district to close the account out and transfer the funds.
Is it a practice of the district to only have one signer for an account?
It's not the practice. Our other bank account has dual signatories, or multiple signatories actually. So it's not a practice that we currently follow. But when I was given this account, my attention was pointed towards it. That was one of the first questions was who are the signatories? There's only one. So my next question was how do we change that? And that led to we don't actually need the account any longer, and we need to close it out immediately and transfer the funds to our main bank account, which all of our other cash is held at.
It's concerning to me that one person in the district can go and open up a bank account with just one signature. So with this resolution, we are to approve two persons to sign, two signatories?
Correct. The resolution will require two signatories on the bank account. So the superintendent and I will be responsible for closing the bank account.
And so do we have a resolution where we would require two persons to sign for any account opening or closing account? Does that exist? I haven't come across it. I've looked for it because I was doing my homework with this. I didn't find it.
There is no board policy that specifies that two signatories are required for any bank account. We searched as well, and we could not find any language in board policy that dictates that.
So Ms. Dell, are you suggesting that we incorporate that into our bylaws?
I would suggest that we do, but
Have it
I
on
don't believe
subsequent.
that that's a very good practice to have. To just have one person sign. I believe that we should have in our policy that at all times, two people will sign to open or to close an account. And the board will approve that by resolution.
Thank you for bringing that up. Ms. Lizarraga?
Yeah, thank you. $94,000 is a quite a considerable amount of money. So, you mentioned a few minutes ago that it's gonna be to the general fund account, or how is it gonna be routed to another purpose?
It has to go into our child nutrition account, which is Fund 13. So it will be the actual accounting transactions are in our books.
Okay.
Cash is in a different bank account. So it's not going to make any difference in terms of our accounting of our books, but the cash will be part of all the other cash that we have for Fund 13.
Okay, so the signature and the resolution is to assign the signature and take the money, put it in on the challenge of the funding. And now what's gonna happen if somebody wants to pay cash on a meal?
So yes, the resolution gives, is the board giving permission to the superintendent and I to tell Bank of America we are now the signatories on that account. So they will make that change and we'll take action to close that account,
Okay.
transfer the funds. It won't work any differently in terms of food sales.
Okay.
We still will deposit that cash into our existing bank account, which is not with Bank of America, it's with another bank.
Okay, thank you.
States?
Saying this, it sounds like this was a little bit of a surprise account. Has it recently been audited?
It is an account that, $94,000 is a lot of money, but in terms of all the cash we have, I can't give you a reason why it still exists or why it has existed. It should have been closed many years ago. Yes, we do reconciliation on a monthly basis. There's no improper transactions in the account since its inception. But as far as why it was never closed and why their cash is in there, I can't really give you an answer. I don't know what the answer is.
No, I understand that. It's in some ways going to somebody else's house and wondering how they do things. Because it wasn't your time, I understand that. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't something sitting somewhere, just randomly that hadn't been checked.
Correct. We reconcile on a monthly basis, and there's no impropriety in that account.
So you reconciled it, so you knew the money was there, but we're unable to utilize that money?
Correct.
Because you can't make withdrawals, right?
So over the last couple of years, because of the pandemic, there's been, food sales have been very few and far between. So reconciliation is done through the business office. Because there's so few transactions, it's treated like a routine report that's done in terms of reconciling those accounts. That's one of the reasons that our attention hasn't really been brought to it. There was very little transactions in the account. But as soon as we learned that, this was brought to my attention maybe about 6 months ago, saying, this account exists. What do you want to do with it? We've been going back and forth with Bank of America for 6 months now to close this account out. And finally, this is what they asked that we do to close the account out before they allow us to close the account. But as far as reconciliation, we do reconcile on a monthly basis. It's just a regular routine report we do. But because there's been so little transactions over the last couple of years, it was kind of, there was no urgency towards it.
Okay, so if we move forward to approve this, then you and Dr. Brady will be able to close the account. And we'll proceed with putting an agenda with a new board policy. Will that be for the next board meeting?
Yes, I'll work with Mr. Evanescens, and I think it would probably, just looking at our board policies, go with concepts and roles under the business and non-instructional section of our policies. And what I think I heard you say is no opening or closing any financial accounts, bank accounts without board resolution, and no checks and warrants without two signatories. And the two signatories also on the opening and closing.
The checks are already required the two signatories.
Yes, there's always two signatories on any check from our typical bank account. But if somebody were to open up an account, we would want to make sure it was part of that practice as well. So we'll add it to the board policy so there's no confusion, no second guessing, and that this can't happen again intentionally.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? None, please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 12B to approve CT 3943 with Davis Demographics for potential school closure analysis and impact.
I move to approve contract 3943.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
I have a motion made by Mrs. Dell, a second by Mrs. Zaraga. Please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Yes, Dr. Brady.
Yes, I just wanted to add that this is just for the analysis and recommendation from the demographer. Once we receive that, we do intend to put together a task force of staff, parents from the community to really look at what the recommendations are, because we understand that numbers only tell part of the story and that the lived experience tells a different part of the story. And so we would want to have both sets of data before making a final recommendation to the board if, in fact, it looks like we need to close the school in the future.
Any other questions? Please vote.
It was voted.
Okay, item 12C, approve CT 3945 with American Fidelity Services LLC for Affordable Care Act compliance. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion to make sure we're in compliance.
Thank you, Ms. Gates, and is there, yes,
Yes, I will second.
motion by Ms. Gates, second by Mrs. Della. With no further discussion, please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Item 12D, to approve CT 3946 with Wilkinson Hadley King and Company LLP to perform the annual financial audit and bond audit. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve CT 3946 for Wilkinson Hadley King and Company for the financial audit.
Is there a second?
Both seconds the motion.
I have a motion made by Ms. Lizarraga, second by Ms. Della. With no further discussion, please vote.
Item passes unanimously.
Thank you. Cabinet Communications, item 13. Mrs. Della.
I just would like to congratulate our two new principals. We're very happy to have you. Looking forward to a very pleasant or happy tenure here with us. Let's see. Thank you to Olive Garden for their presentation, and thank you to all our staff for putting all the time and effort into everything that all the presentations that we have today. Thank you very much. Good night.
Mrs. Lizarraga.
Thank you. Well, welcome to the family. We're so excited to interview and then give the final recommendation of the yes. So welcome to the family of National School District. And I was so surprised how powerful you're empowering people, Mrs. Hayes. So I was so happy to see the love in here. This is how we treat people here. This is a family environment, as you can see. And I'm glad that you get to see it in person. So thank you so much for that. And to be, we're not saying goodbye to you yet. Thank you. And I can speak hours of Olive Gardens, hours and hours, and because I'm part of the staff, and this is my side job, and I'm a professional gardener. And also it's so touching to see how my coworkers and my boss, which is Generation, and all the staff is thriving to see those kids screaming at the end. And thank you all who got and screaming. I think we should put that on there because we hear it on a daily basis. So hopefully we can get this going and this forever because they take it to their families is what the main purpose is, the whole family engagement and a product of Olive Garden programming as a kitchenista, and we're willing to cooperate, and that's food at schools, which is our main goal, and hopefully we can get proactive about the feedback and students happy about what they eat on the schools and the families get the concerns answered. So thank you so much for that presentation to Olive Gardens, and on my behalf, I put my heart on the chest because I fully entrusted in them, and I know, and I'm a strong believer that we can collaborate. Collaborations matter as a vision of National School District and how we appreciate and embrace this type of education for the kids. They're really happy about it, and thank you for making it happen. So, and the principals are there most of the time, and when they stop by and see the pictures, and they turn the child, Mr. Denegri and Dr. Segura, when teachers are there, like they know. And I think I was part of the jumper once, because they say, I saw a lady digging a hole, putting a tree on it. And that was me. So they're starting to recognize faces, and they know what our leadership is building there. So that's all. Thank you so much, and have a great night.
I have a few things, but I think you're used to that by now. So to our new principals, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad that you're looking at our families and our kids and seeing so much potential. Both of you spoke absolutely clearly on the future you see, the future possibilities you see, not just looking at our children for today, which is absolutely important, but looking for where they're going. And so welcome to us. Now, Mrs. Hayes, though.
Doesn't matter.
You have cared for all three of my kids. You started to see Chris's potential. I'm not going to make this. This is going to be a hot mess. You already even done it. And she just finished her master's in public health at Berkeley in the middle of her. She's working to deliver people's babies and speak to people about their their health and the safety and with, care of women and children, like she's yours. And then Anthony, yeah, I know, Anthony, right, Mrs. Ward, Anthony? You saw him.
Yes.
And you saw that he had some needs that weren't being met and that it was bumpy. And you fought for my child. And then Michaela was just in her stroller, and one of my, point number 3 is Michaela's graduating from Bayfront on June 1st from high school and getting ready to go to college at Queen Lemoness. So I have that on there too, but you cared for that child as well. And my first reference in my teaching career was from you to go to college and be accepted in the program. So I know that's where I'm at. You have mattered tremendously in my life. And the people in this room, it's just a tiny drop of what you have done.
Thank you.
So
My pleasure.
I honor you and your time, your heart, your effort, your tears, your late nights, your early mornings. The fact that car is there all the time. It needs to sometime go home. All of it. You've been a very gracious gift.
Thank you.
As a reminder, 3 days in May plus 6 days in June equals 9 days. Okay, we're getting all this. That's less than 6th grade. I can do this one. Thank you to all of Wood Gardens Learning Center. Thank you to the Healthy Day Partners. And last but definitely not least, Dr. Brady, I would like to encourage us to take a look at our safety protocols one more time. It's something we should be doing constantly, but there are times that the custodial staff will see something and they look at it differently. There'll be times when a teacher sees something, they look at it differently. There are times when parents are going, I wonder about that. Why is this not? Why is that not? I don't know when we last revisited those safety protocols. It's never often enough. And so in light of the Uvalde, Texas shooting as we mourn, I'm asking, please, look again.
Oh, good, thank you. Mr. Albanesian.
Recently, the district was awarded a grant through the Air Quality Board to purchase a electric school bus. So we're in the process of procuring that school bus. We'll bring it to the board in short order to purchase the bus. It's about $375,000 for an electric school bus. The grant will cover the cost of the bus. We are only asked to basically decommission one of our existing school buses, which we plan on decommissioning a bus from 2004. It is a diesel bus. So that bus will be scrapped in order to purchase an electric school bus, which has about a range of 100 miles a day on a full charge, which will be great for National City because we do not drive nearly 100 miles a day, but there's a lot of driving because there's a lot of small streets throughout the city. So we intend to purchase the bus as a pilot to see how it works, to work out any and all issues, and hopefully in the future to go in that direction in terms of any future school bus purchases. Also, we're working with San Diego Gas and Electric, SDG&E, to install electric chargers throughout the school district. That's in the preliminary stages, so we hope to bring more information to the board in the future. That would be a program that SDG&E offers. It would be at no cost to the district. Thank you.
I like that, no cost. Good.
I like that you're not trying to plug in at my house.
Yes. Dr. Hernandez.
So I just wanted to wish all our leadership team a happy Administration Appreciation Week. They've been working very hard this year and dedicating many hours, endless hours in the evenings, on the weekends, and they're very much appreciated. Also like to welcome our two new principals, Principal Ira Harbison and Central. This is a very rigorous process. They go through 4 interviews and they make it here. So congratulations and welcome.
You, Dr. Krantz.
I'd like to welcome our 2 new leaders. We look forward to growing and learning together. Very excited to have you. I wanted to express our gratitude for our partnership with Olivewood Gardens and the work we're doing together to, they say it takes a village, and I feel like we're building one. We're very excited with what's yet to be. We haven't seen nothing yet. And I'd like to applaud our educational services team and all the site administrators for the hard work they've been doing this year. It's been a very unique year, and there's been many tears, but through them, the smiles and the love for the kids have always permeated, and I'm grateful to work with such amazing colleagues. And I want to thank and shout out to our upper grade teachers. This is the first year that in a while that they've had to do the state testing, and it's run smoothly, I think. Go with me. I'm excited to see some of the preliminary scores. I know we're not at pre-pandemic, but the growth has been phenomenal, and it's a testament to the quality that we have here. Now I'm getting emotional, and I just wanted to express my thoughts and prayers as a fellow educator and a parent for the community and families at Robb Elementary, and then wish everyone a wonderful and restful long weekend.
Thank you. Dr. Brady.
Yes, I'd like to also start with just saying that our hearts are with the families and the staff of Uvalde, Texas. The last thing I did before I went home last night was draft a letter and send it to our staff, asking them in my first sentence to please review the safety protocols and the flip charts that we have at every exit throughout the district. The board will be seeing a contract at the very next board meeting to work with our risk management, Keenan and Associates, to really fortify our safety plans. We do work with the City of National City Police Department and Fire Department. The board does approve those plans that are worked on at the site level every year, but we know we can never be too safe. We'll also be, we say safety first, yeah, we always do a kickoff, getting excited about the beginning of the year, and we decided to put safety first and to give up the kickoff in lieu of safety training. So the very first thing we'll do every year from now on is going to be our annual safety training, and then those follow-ups at the school site as well. We'll be holding our safety committee meeting over the summer for those who are able to attend to get some input from our staff, because you're right, different people see different things at different times, and wherever we can fortify that plan, we will. I've gotten some wonderful emails back from staff asking for a blind update. I did CC respond all, even though we say don't respond all, but I felt everybody probably had that same question. So the board knows we've been going through that process to go out to bid. We have the job block. We did select the contractor. You did approve that contract, and that work will be done this summer. So they are slated and ready to go. We just can't do it while kids are in the building. But again, we are continuing to work on every aspect that we can, because we know only together can we keep our kids as safe as possible. And it's a balance between keeping our schools safe, but also welcoming. We can't possibly close them from every angle without them feeling more institutionalized or prison-like. And we know that even if we had buzzers at every door, it might be somebody and you buzz them in. So again, it's training, it's continuing to review those protocols. We've had the safety committee now for several years, and we continue to meet throughout the year on the safety committee as well. So we'll continue to work on that. This morning, A similar letter went out to all parents first thing in the morning, but we needed it translated because we wanted to make sure it went out in English and Spanish so nobody had any questions. So that's the message has gone out to both groups. I want to say thank you to Ms. Hayes, and you have just been such a wonderful, amazing family member to everybody here, and you can see the testament of everybody that you've touched, all the comments. I know that we heard about your retirement after our annual retirement, but I want everybody in this room to know to spread the word because she is not going to get away without a celebration. We'll be giving you more information on some of the things that she may not know about. And we hope that you'll come back to see the board recognize Beverly at the very next board meeting. We'll be having an item on the agenda and we'll be celebrating you properly. So thank you for all you've done. And we're just very blessed that you have given so many years to the National School District.
My pleasure.
Welcome to our two newest members of our family. We are so proud to have you here as well tonight. Thank you for staying for the whole board meeting. We hope you will go out and celebrate. We got a lot of work to do together. And happy administrative professionals week to you and all of our administrators here in the National School District. And then I just want to thank the board for making time to come out last Thursday for the exhibit for the now and then 150 years of National School District, second oldest school district in the county. If you didn't get a chance to see the exhibit, the whole thing will be narrated by our students, posted to our website. It's also hanging in the hallway. You can take a trip down memory lane anytime you're here at the district office. It's in English and Spanish, and again, narrated by our students of the National School District, my superintendent roundtable, and our Kimball scholars. And then just to let you know, I'll be sending you some links very soon with the other project that our student roundtable did this year in collaboration with Coronado School District and with Sweetwater School District. And that is a mini podcast series where they interviewed differently abled people. And they learned about all of the ways, instead of focusing on the disability, they learned about all the ways that differently abled people contribute and are successful. And they recorded a podcast series, and it's really interesting and amazing to listen to. And I'll be sending you the links, and we'll be again posting that after the kids get a chance to see the launch. It will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and on SoundCloud. And with that, that's all I have.
Thank you. I too would like to welcome Ms. Erica Marcelo Carrillo. Thank you for even applying. We're just so thrilled to have you. And the same with, I don't want to mess up your name, I had to write it down, Dr. Fausto Berrican. And I was excited just talking to you earlier tonight and getting to know you and learning what you have to offer, what you will be bringing our students here in the National School District. And I can't wait for you to meet the staffs, and you got some of them behind you right there. This is a great opportunity. Also, thank you, Dr. Brady, for the letter that you sent out to the parents and staff. I appreciate the emails regarding those and revisitation of our safety patrol or protocols. I'm sorry. I shared my own concerns about things that I wouldn't witness myself. Gates that had a padlock on it, but the padlock either was there or loose, and people would drive in and out, sometimes shut the gate behind them, sometimes leave it wide open. Maybe they'd see someone behind them. Okay, fine. They're coming out too. But was told that it was left open or unlocked because we have deliveries. Well, we need to revisit that and see how we can do that differently. If we've got delivery people coming in, either someone needs to go out and open the gate for them, or maybe they get a key. I don't know how you want to do it, but there needs to be a better way of handling that, because I've sat out there in the parking lots and watched people come and go and just shudder to think what could happen. So something, again, that we need to revisit and And also, I read the emails that were going out today from staff, from teachers, from people who have their own concerns. And I really appreciate hearing from our staff, from our parents, and bringing it to our attention, because if you don't tell us, we don't know. So we need to be aware of these things, and I really appreciate those. And finally, as is done at the County Board of Supervisors meeting, I'd like to adjourn this meeting in the honor of the late Dr. Louise Phipps, former principal of Sweetwater High School. She was both a friend and a mentor, and she will be sorely missed. With that, meeting adjourned.